Hey, my name's George, and if you have these pedals and they squeak when you depress the pedal, or if they don't seem to slide as well as you'd like, I'm going to go through and show a few things that I did to alleviate those problems. Alright, so these are the Thrustmaster pedals, rudder pedals, and they feel like they squeak more than I'd like, and they don't slide quite as well. So I ended up buying white lithium grease. I don't know that that is necessarily the best thing for it, but I knew it wasn't going to jack up the plastic, which I think was, at least, do no harm. Will be the first thing I would go with. I'd already lubed up the slides, which did make a big difference. I just put a little bit of lube on these slides here. Well, of course, can't see because, well, yeah. These slides in here. Ran it back and forth. Maybe it's easier to see from the bottom until they seem sufficiently lubricated, and then it did seem to feel quite a bit looser after I did that, which I thought was nice. Here I'm going to feel like it's the spring riding on this bit that may be making the noise. I don't know. So let's put a little lube in here. Getting this front pedal off here isn't too complicated. Up here you go. There is a couple little. Let's see. Can you see it? Easier said than done. There is two little things you push, and you can check it there. I find moving it here and pushing one here. What we're looking for are these bits and these bits to push. Just squeeze them together and push it up, and it'll let you eject this. As far as what's creating the squeak, I'm just going to go through and listen to it and see if I can hear anything specific. It could just be the springs rubbing on itself. I don't know. Well, I'll try that first. This stuff isn't going to hurt anything. I've got lots of it, so. Could also be where the plastic is riding on the shaft. Could be here. Bottom there. The actual potentiometer, whatever you want to call it, they're further down in there, it appears. So okay, well, let's see if that was it. Alright, so I seem to have found the problem. The pedal can move a certain amount left and right, and where it intersects with this and this, when it gets rubbed up next to it, it seems to make noise. You push it away, it gets rid of it. That's kind of a design flaw, it seems. Really, what lubrication will temporarily work, but what we really need to do is keep it from shifting over that way. Some sort of this center pin slides back and forth, this guy here. That's pretty interesting. It has no there's no key or anything, it just freely wiggles back and forth. Alright, well, I'll do the same with this, center it. Would probably work would be some sort of spacers to go in between here. You can see in between this and this. You see how this can slide back and forth? If we can figure out something to go in between these, that will probably keep it from getting to the point where it'll make noise again. Now that I've got all this grease though, I certainly don't need it all. Just wipe a bit so it's less stuff to collect dust and dirt. Won't hurt anything, but it's also messy. Alright, I'm going to go through my drawer and see if I can't find something useful. After some hunting through some junk drawers, I found a couple types of metal brackets that have a hole in them. And I'm thinking that if I pull that metal shaft out, hopefully these holes will be big enough. After I trim them down, I'll just use this metal as a kind of like a washer. They'll hold, they give a little bit of space, and they'll keep the pedal from wandering side to side, and then therefore never touching the plastic on the edge. And hopefully the metal itself won't make any noises. We're gonna see. So let's find out if the shafts come out first off. So what kind of conundrum I'm going to have if the shaft doesn't come out and something comes apart. Like what precisely? So I think the spring is one part's attached to this, I think. As long as I keep the pedal let's pull this down. I think as long as I keep the pedal where it's at and only move the shaft, I don't think I'm going to run into any problems. I will need something to push the shaft out. I don't really want to score the shaft, so I have to be careful not to just grab it with anything, especially something that's going to leave marks. This is flat, doesn't have any teeth. I don't know if that's going to help. Ideally, it would be something with a rubberized grip or some sort of padding. Maybe I'll use this to grab it. I have to be really careful not to move this out now that I've... Okay. Now, good. Shan't move that. Let's see if this... just slightly too big. Yeah, unfortunately, the little metal thing I got is too big. Set this down gingerly. And maybe I'll make this out. This is my digital image. Battery always goes dead. And I don't know what it is. Well, whatever. Alright. Excuse me. Practice my editing skills with taking out that perp, or do I leave it in? I hadn't heard of that Jeopardy song in forever until that YouTube video I just watched mentioned it. Alright, so, well, if you ever seen one of these are pretty sweet. Digital micrometer. We'll zero it down and we'll see how thick this is. 5.95 millimeters, so it's probably supposed to be 6 millimeter, I would suspect. Let me see, it's any sort of equivalent inches. No. Some random fraction. 15/64, which is, I guess, not the worst fraction in the world. Hardly anything interesting. But, alright. Well, the options are either get a washer to fit that, or ream these out so that they fit. I think I'm going to try to ream these out. It'd be easier if I had look at my drill, I suppose, and these vice grips. I think those two will work. Alright, away I go. Alright, strictly speaking, this isn't really part of the fix, just me trying to rig up something that I can actually use handy. Again, recommend that if you really want to do this right, go buy a set of washers that will fit that shaft. That'd really make a lot more sense. But as I don't know, I don't want to say lazy, but impatient, I guess, is really the true word. I don't want to go up to the store and hunt for a washer. So I'm just going to clamp this in here. Kind of shoddy vice grips, but Harbor Freight, a great place to get cheap things that you don't mind breaking and losing. Buy 10 of these for probably what one good one would cost, so you get what you pay for. And if you're poor, it's just fine. Try to get the right clamping force on this without squishing it. The drill is going to want to really take it out here, so it's going to be close. Probably should do this over something that will collect dirt. My ZBrush notes will do. If you go nice and slow, hopefully you won't tear it out of the vice grips thing. And then now I do have a big enough hole. I'll have to flatten this and cut it, but you just have to duplicate that same process for these other 4. See how that goes. One thing you want to do is make sure your drill clutch is disabled. Something I will probably do after I'm done is file these down a bit so that it doesn't score the metal rod any more than it has to, because I'm sure that that's really the only metal thing this rod goes through, so it's probably not a super hardened rod. Doesn't need to be anyway, so probably it'll score easy from these metal bits. And since I'm drilling through them, they're going to be sharp. So I would suggest if you do something similar to this, to make sure that you file them down as well as possible. Don't put too much pressure, just light pressure. Oh, something might be useful to note. So I'm using a 1/4 inch bit. Focus. Maybe like that. There you go. You're too fast, camera. Do like that. 1/4 inch. That's the danger of going fast. You do risk the end kind of torquing your hand up a bit. So take it slow. You won't have any issue with that. Put these metal shards in the garbage. Okay. Cleaned up. Now I just need to break off these extra bits and flatten out if these things are. I got bent it all. So, make sure this is. I cramped my thumb. Recovering from doing all that sand tamping really took a lot out of me. Alright, so I'm just going to bend this back and forth. Cutting it could be done, but it's a lot more work than just breaking them. like that. That's more what I would expect it to do. If you ever need a tool, vice grips are a pretty handy one to have. All kinds of things you can do with that. Blister from working the sand tamping. Let's see if the focus is close. Yeah. So I'm gonna try to be careful of that. I got a little bit of one in my right hand, but it's not as bad. Makeshift washers. See if I can sand these down a little bit. Maybe I got some sandpaper or something. Wow. This is certainly not ideal. I really would want something far less aggressive of a grit with sandpaper or file. Any number of things would be the right tool, but I don't have the right tool, so I'm going to make do with what we got. And I'm just going to see if I can get any sort of burrs off this. Probably not. Probably a futile endeavor. But I don't think it's going to hurt it any. So. have to be careful. These things are pretty sharp at this point. Just broke metal, after all. So you are liable to cut yourself. Well, that's about as best as I'm going to get, I think. Just make sure that we flatten these out as best we can. See how this works. So what we're going to do, move the camera up a bit, we'll shine some light. See if I can get it back, inserted back into here. And any lug, pinch this in here. Hopefully direct it into position with this. This is a finicky bit. I was able to rotate the shaft and help pull it up. So a bit lucky, to be fair. Okay. Now we have to place one in here. I don't know if we can zoom in a bit. In here. I'm trying to sandwich it so that it doesn't just slide down too far, and just kind of try to get lucky. No, didn't get as lucky. Do something else thin and pull it up. Kind of going by feel here. I can't even see, so unfortunately I don't expect you to be able to see what's going on. This is as far over as I can get. Some more light maybe. Okay, that's the way to do it too. Probably a better way. You can see. Well, let's see if I can detach the camera. Maybe that'll be the best way to show off what's going on here. Go real close. You can see inside the shaft there. The little washer slid down too far. What I need to do is I need to pick it up a little bit with a pick, probably, which I don't necessarily have in here, so I'll have to go out to grab one of those. Alright, I've got a pick tool. And hopefully that will give me ability to slide this up here. Yep, and that was it. I'm sorry I didn't actually show that, but the shaft had also became, well, the shaft and the pedal were not centered, so I had to adjust the pedal a little bit, picking it up or dropping it down or something so that it fit through. Alright, now that that's on there, let's take a quick look. Hey. Back up here. Well, one thing to note, I did it wrong. So this part was right. I put the washer in here. This part though, that doesn't belong there. It should have been on this side. Decide if it's worth me fixing that side. Considering this one didn't squeak to begin with, it was mostly this one. I'm going to leave it alone, but it's easy to get like lost when you're doing something, so it's these outer edges that need to be spaced, not this inner one. I just wasn't paying attention apparently. I don't think that's going to hurt anything being in there, so we'll move on to the next one. You certainly don't need to watch both of these, but I figure maybe you'll see something new from a different angle. It'll be recorded. You can fast forward or not watch anymore after you've figured it out. That would probably be perfectly sensible. The pick makes it a little easier getting it out here. I've got right angle pick maybe? Nope. Okay, just comes right out. And then we gotta be careful not to move this with the shaft out. We really don't know what will happen if we move it while the shaft's out. I don't want to find out. This time, I'm going to make sure to put this in the right spot. Put the shaft in. Let me see if I can tilt this up towards you guys. So, grabbing this, inserting it in here. The advantage of these being a little bit less like just round is I can grab onto this and lets me slide it in a little bit, whereas if they were just washers I might not have that option. So if you're using washers, well, there's a disadvantage. It's going to make your job just a little bit harder. Just be aware of that. I'm sure that it's still capable of doing it, it's just going to take you a bit more finagling. Again, look inside here, so you can see it. See if we can. There it goes. Alright. to see if that worked. That's really the moment to nice and slippery. No squeaking anymore. Alright. It looks like I've fully fixed the squeak. So, I hope that's helpful. I don't have much else to say, except I'm going to continue to be doing interesting fixes, though I don't think it'll be useful to everybody, so I don't know that necessarily subscribing to me is going to get you a bunch of cool videos you're going to like, but I'll be around.